It's 10:12 p.m. Thursday night on the 12th of April 2018. Myself and my guests tonight on our Thursday night accountability call for the as a follow-up to the Sunday Ambit purge call. But we've just been to the Power Trip business presentation tonight, all-star cast, and we've just been listening to the number one income earner Brian McClure. I was just chatting with Dave and Lynn how, whenever I hear Brian, I'm always really fired up. He's such a lovely chap, very humble, great trainer, and he did a great job closing as usual again tonight. And we've all come back brain dead and exhausted and stuff, so we're going to have to, have a quick intravenous injection of some coffee to wake us up to get going on this. But first of all, senior consultants Dave and LYNN NUTT, are you there?
Yes, we are.
Fantastic. All right, let's dive straight on in. How was your Thursday, you lovely chaps?
I had a one-on-one with Ishmael this morning, and it went into 2 hours.
Uh-oh.
Well, bless him, he had his own agenda too. He, being real estate, understands the power of networking, and that was his goal, and which I understand. He did watch the presentation. He would not talk to anyone else, and but that's okay. That's okay. He's not really interested. He's intrigued. He's very focused on his real estate and his real estate investments, and I get that. And we are going to continue the relationship, and we talked about referrals.
Can he become your customer?
I believe so. We didn't
Did you
get
ask him?
that far. No,
Okay.
because I didn't, and I should have.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's always a situation, always a fallback when someone says no. And so, I understand that, it's not always, the timing isn't always right, or focus is always somewhere else. But it would be, we should, if nothing else, you've seen the credibility of the company, you've seen the credibility of our leadership. I know everybody has an electricity bill and everybody wants to save some money. So the least we should do, Ishmael, is at least have a look at your bill and see if we can save you some money. If not, you can stay where you are, of course. But if we can, then could perhaps become a customer. That's what I would do. But you knew
Absolutely.
that.
I think we could still go there. He was more interested in showing me the app he's been working on, and it kept going back to him. And part of that was, potentially the way our meeting came about, because a couple weeks ago he talked about us getting together for coffee, and then when we talked about it again, I told him that I would like to show him what I'm doing as well, and maybe that was part of the challenge. It became there's always a challenge when you've got people who are both trying to promote their businesses and this type of thing. And in that type of circumstance, someone has to take control and organize some time and say, look, this is what it is. Right now, obviously, you want me to take a look at what you're doing. I'm here so you can take a look at what I'm doing. Why don't we split this meeting into two? You take the first half, show me what you're doing, and see if there's something I'm interested or I can help you with. And then let's take the second half, and I'll show you what I'm doing, and we'll do the same thing. Show each other respect for each other's business, and let's go from there. So, Ishmael, why don't you go first? Show me what you're doing, and see how it is, and let's aim at getting finished by, and then I give them 30 minutes after that. But someone's got to take control of the meeting like that. Otherwise, it goes backwards and forwards like a game of tennis. Where people are always trying to find an excuse to get back to the next point they want to make about their product. In that type of situation, you either want to split the meeting in two or say, look, let's make this two meetings. I don't like the idea of two meetings because if he goes first, he won't come to the next one. He'll have done what he's done, and then, so split the meeting in two,
let him do all of his stuff and say, okay, great, you know, and you can either become a customer, or you're either interested in what he's doing or not, and then say, okay, are we done? Great, okay, now let's, for the next 30 minutes, I'll show you what I'm doing and see if there's able, you know, we can help each other there. That's what I would do in that type of situation. Otherwise, it's a mess.
Yes, and I think that's pretty much what it was. He was very interested in how he could make money. And did he have to be a consultant to make commissions? And, of course, the answer is yes. So he is interested in giving me customer referrals for fees, and that's kind of what it turned into. And so, yeah. All
right. So, yeah, that is what it is on that one. That's fine. If you can ask him, if you get the opportunity to ask him to be a customer, that's great. But put him on a drip list for 6 months out. You'll follow up with him in 6 months' time with the 3 changes that Dave and I talked about on one of our calls yesterday, and that's it, and on to the next.
For sure.
That's how it is.
Yeah, learning experience.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Who's next? Do you want to go again, or Dave? Whatever you want to do.
David wants me to finish up with my day.
Okay.
I left a message for my friend Richard, the attorney in Arlington, and have not gotten a call back yet. I also scheduled lunch with Sharinda. And
great.
Yes. We could not get our schedules to mesh for this week or next week, so we're meeting on the 24th.
Okay.
I also spoke briefly with Linda. She did not really have time to talk. We're going to talk around 11 on Saturday. She knows that I'm going to be in a seminar of sorts, so I will be stepping out briefly and be in a hurry, of course. And that's kind of where the day went. I did want to talk to you about leaving messages. When you leave a message for someone, and let's say it's been a day or two and they haven't called you back, what is your next step generally?
Okay. All right, let's go through this. I have a very standard way of dealing with this. I mean, there's always a little bit of flexibility, but base it around 4 voicemails, four messages. Reason why is it's then something you'll always remember. But secondly, it's also something that you'll always be able to duplicate with your downline as you're training them. So here's the voicemail process, as it were. So first of all, we always leave a voicemail. Sometimes the first question is, well, should I leave a voicemail or not, or just hang up? No, always leave a voicemail. And on the other hand, is also make sure you're ready for a callback. Because if you leave a voicemail and then your day goes on and then you're just coming out of the restroom and they call you back, then you've got to be ready for an invite. So make sure you're prepared for the callback. Maybe just have your notebook with you after, just in case they call you back. You've got to be ready for when they call you back. So first call, leave a message. If I'm calling you, Lynn, I'd say, hey, Lynn, it's Richard here. Got something I need to talk to you about. Or Richard Laidler here, if you don't know me that well. Got something I need to talk to you about. Can you give me a call back? 214-766-4613. Look forward to hearing from you. Very postured, very friendly. That's it. No callback, still no callback. Second call is the same day. So I'm assuming the first call will have been maybe in the morning, second one maybe mid-afternoon. Which is, hey, Lynn, then I'd say, hey, Lynn, I left you a message earlier. Haven't heard back yet. Please do give me a call. A little bit of emphasis in there. Something I need to talk to you about. Thanks very much. 214-766-4613. Okay?
Okay.
Now, they still haven't called us back. We're going to leave it now overnight.
Okay.
Okay, three voicemails in a day is desperate. It's too much.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so the next one is third. Now what we're going to do is we're going to introduce a little bit of guilt. And this works really well. So the third voicemail is, hey, Lynn, left you a couple of messages yesterday. Now you can hear in my voice, I'm a little concerned. So I'd say, hey, Lynn, I left you a couple of messages yesterday. I didn't hear back from you. I hope everything's okay. But please give me a call when you get a chance. It's Richard Laidler here, 214-766-4613. So
Okay.
I'm concerned because, of course, you would have called me back by now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's genuine. It's concern, but it's also putting a bit of guilt in there. Gosh darn it, call me back. I left you some messages, and I ain't going anywhere. All right, so that's third. So now they still haven't called you back. I'm not calling back the same day. So now this is the fourth call on the third day. So 2 calls day 1, 1 call day 2, 1 call on day 3. And this is the takeaway. This is where we have the takeaway in the invite. Hey, listen, it may or may not be your cup of tea, but, you know, blah, blah, blah. The takeaway is to make sure that people don't steal the power from you. This is an emotional thing that we go through in network marketing. In order for us to find the people who want to do this business, we go through a lot of rejection. We go through a lot of people telling us no. And so we need to value our power, for want of a better word, our mojo. We need to value it like it's a gem. And every time someone says no or ignores a call or doesn't call us back, it steals a little bit of power, and we have to get it back. And so that's why we have the takeaway in the invite. But in the voicemail, here's what I would do on the voicemail. I would say, so this is now the third day. I'd say, hey, Lynn, Richard Laidler here. I've left a couple of messages for you over the last couple of days. Haven't heard back from you. I'm assuming you must be out of town. So I mean, you're not. This is not on the message. I'm speaking out loud here.
Okay.
I'm saying you must be out of town because you haven't called me back, right? So there's nuance in there. So hey, Lynn, this is Richard again here. I've left you a couple of messages. Well, actually, left you 3 messages over the last couple of days. Haven't heard back. I'm assuming you must be out of town, maybe on vacation or whatever. But I don't want to. I don't want to keep calling you. So this is the last time I'm going to call you. But when you get this message, please do give me a call. 214-766-4613. Look forward to hearing from you sometime.
Okay.
I've taken it away. I'm snatching the rug from under them. Now the risk is that in a week or two's time, someone happens to show them Ambit, and they happen to join the business. Very small risk. Very small risk. The upside is you've got your power back. You've got that. You're not going to chase someone like a forlorn boyfriend who can't get his girlfriend to call him back, right? This is very important. You know what it was like when you made those calls and people don't call you back. It gets you the power back. Now, so that person now is going to go onto a drip list, but we're not going to leave him 6 months like we do when we've got someone who's seen the business and they're not ready yet, like maybe Ishmael. Okay. He needs a 6-month drip list. This is going to be a month to 2 months before I call him back.
Okay.
So 4 voicemails over 3 days, and then they go onto the drip list for a call back within 1 to 2 months.
Okay.
And what the whole point about that is it purges them. That's why this call is called the purge call, because we always want to start a new week with a fresh set of names. Now, we're going to be following. There's always follow-ups we're doing, but we want to make sure 10 new names get onto our list every week. And if we're constantly chasing on voicemails, it starts to become a little messy and a little dirty and just a little, I don't like it. Let's keep it clean. Cut it, and start fresh, you know.
Okay.
Make sense?
That's helpful. Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Super.
I'm going to turn this over.
Okay.
You ready for me?
Just one thing, real quick on the LYNN thing. I'm just looking at my notes here. Yes. With your lunch with Sheridan.
Yes.
Just make sure that before your appointment, because it's a little way out,
yes,
that you double check with a text or a call. Ideally, text the day before. Say, hey, looking forward to our appointment tomorrow for lunch at such and such. Can't wait to see you. Not, are you still going to make it?
Yes.
Because that gives her a no, I can't. We don't want that. Remember, we're intentional. So
Correct.
we're assuming she's going to meet, and you're just saying, hey, just confirming for tomorrow, looking forward to seeing you, type text or call, whatever you want to do. Ideally text.
Yes, will do.
Then you won't waste a trip, and it keeps you on top of things. Okay. All right, over to you, Dave.
Okay. I called Bruce, got voicemail, just left him a message, asked him to give me a call back.
Okay.
So real simple. Mauricio, I've got to get I need to get a overseas calling card so I can call. So I dropped the ball on that one today.
Well, you know what you could do on that is you could do it by, I have Skype because I obviously need to call my mum over in England, and I just use Skype, and then you don't have to get a calling card. It's just it's very inexpensive. It's like for the UK, it was like 2 cents a minute or something. It was crazy cheap. And it's something you can so you download it on your computer and just put $10 worth of money on it, and then any international calls will just eat away at that $10 or whatever, or $5 or whatever you want to do. Just in case you didn't want to go out. It's up to you, just an idea.
No, I thank you. Absolutely, I will do that. Thank you.
Sure.
Would you you want to start with me on my calls for tomorrow?
Okay, so the 2 calls you did today were fairly unproductive?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's just cover that real quick because, and again, this is more coaching for when you are the accountability partners. There are always days which are just like, great days. And then there are days that are kind of like, and then there are days when where for some reason you didn't even want to get out of bed. And the purpose of an accountability partner is not to chastise, is not to judge, not to be, the fact that you've got an accountability partner is enough to say, I know I should have got some more stuff done today, but our job as an accountability partner is not to, now, I don't want to mention names because I love Miriam Wader, but Miriam Wader, if she's your accountability partner, she is going to give you a hard time. She's going to rip you a new one, but maybe when you're a beautiful Asian girl, you can get away with it. But I don't. Dave, you would have rather had a better day. It is what it is. But the mere fact that we're doing the accountability call is like, gosh darn it, I wish I could have done a little bit more. I've got to make up for it for tomorrow. Or over the weekend for Sunday. So as I say, just for the coaching as an accountability partner, we're not here to chastise or judge. Just as, if someone has a bad day and say, look, I just didn't do my calls today, then you just need to be someone, is everything okay? What's going on? Is there something I can help you with? And sometimes, someone's depressed or something's gone wrong. And sometimes, you need to be just a listening ear. And say, let's not talk about Ambit. I've had that with my team. And they called me for an accountability call, and I was just like, you know what? I woke up this morning, I felt like crap, I just didn't want to do anything. I don't know what it was. I had a bad dream or something, and I just didn't want to do anything. And then I immediately will not be like, well, come on, you said, and da-da-da-da, we've got to be EC in 18 months. I've now got to match their mood. If you've got someone who's down low, you don't want to meet them on a high, really kind of like super up, positive mood. It just doesn't feel right. And so if I have someone who's, and I'm not saying you were, Dave, this is just an example. If someone's having a bad day, they're depressed or whatever, you need to go down there and meet them. Not quite as low as them, but just go down the meet and say, hey, what's going on, bud? Is everything okay? And be genuine and sit and listen. And if it means that you've got to be on the phone with them for half an hour, then that's what you do. Because there's a time when you just need to be a good human being. And you just need to be someone who listens. And, and sometimes that's just all they needed. And but sometimes it's okay to have a day like that. Sometimes we have a couple of days like that or whatever. We don't want to stay down there. And if it was like more than 2 days and this was a problem, I'd say, hey, Dave, let's go grab some lunch. Because someone needs some help, right? So that's what I'm saying. As an accountability partner, it's not just about, being the disciplinarian at all. I don't know if you guys agree with that. Obviously, I would imagine you would agree with it, or had anything to add to it, should I say?
No, I agree.
Lynn, do you have any thoughts on that?
You have to meet people where they are.
Yeah, good way of putting it. Absolutely a good way of putting it. And sometimes we just need someone to listen to us. So I stay in touch with my feminine side, and that is touching right on it right there. You girls are so good at it. I'm quite vulnerable enough to say, I need to get in touch with my feminine side in order to be able to do that and just shut up and listen and not try to fix everything like us guys do. Sometimes just a listening voice is a good thing. So took a little time on that, but that's important. I think, we're in business, but we're also human beings. So, okay, Dave. So let's go with you, Dave, on some invites for tomorrow. Who have you got?
Okay, I got Jensen's dad. Jensen went to school with my son. Was in the marching band with my son, the middle school band with my son. Jensen's dad's in real estate. He owns real estate. So he has his own business. So I'm going to be reaching out to him cold. So I'm thinking a two-prong approach probably. One of just getting together. I know you're in real estate. I'm doing some things too. I'd like to see what you're doing, see if there's some synergy we could work with each other. You okay with that?
100%, dude. 10 out of 10. Perfect. Okay. I got a chill up my spine. I thought, wow, this has been a good week. Perfect. That's exactly what I would do. I've got no nuances to add to it. It was perfect. Perfect. It's very business-like. You've got matching sons.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know each other through the sons, and it's a business deal. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Perfect.
Okay. My second one is Hong. He is he's a friend of the family. His sister and my daughter went through school together, and they were in the same grades. Hong, great guy. He was my physical therapist on my shoulder when I had shoulder surgery. We have a mutual respect for each other. I'm going to use the direct approach on him.
Yeah, and I think, sometimes the direct approach you want to put in the compliment, and I think the mutual respect is great, So again, being in a hurry, talking about yours and Lynn's why and what your hopes are. How old is Hong, by the way?
30.
Probably mid-30s.
Yeah, mid-30s, 35 maybe, 34, 35.
Okay.
Married,
kids, married?
One child, yes.
And married, okay. So again, similar thing. You want him listening with his heart rather than his head, so we're going to use your why. You've been working on a business for a few years now that's been going really, really well. But Hong, it's about time you got to – is it Hong or Kong?
Hong, H-U-N-G.
Okay, got it. Hong. I'd say, I'd like to get together so I can show you what we're doing initially because, you're very well connected, with your physiotherapy business and this type of thing, and you could very well be able to make some suggestions or some recommendations for us for people that we should be talking to. And then, as you quite rightly said, but Hong, let me be direct, and that's when I would say I always believe we've had a mutual respect for each other, despite our age difference. I think we've had a mutual respect for each other, and I'd like you to take a look at this and consider becoming my business partner alongside what you're currently doing. No, you're not leaving what you're currently doing. Sometimes you need to put in that because he's obviously busy with his physiotherapy business. I don't know if it'll be your cup of tea, Hong, and that's perfectly fine. Again, you could hear the nuance in my tone. It's like, not dismissive, but, I don't want you to feel obligated.
Right.
Let's get together, and then the intentional close. Yeah, perfect. Totally agree. Great job.
Thank you.
Richard, I'm going to throw this in there just because it may change the nuance with Hong. His sister is a marketing consultant in our marketing code, and he was her customer. She is no longer working the business. She went fast and furious and then stopped. So he probably unless he's forgotten. It's been 4 years. He may know what it is. I don't know if that will change the invitation or not.
Dave, what are your thoughts on that?
I would be willing to well, his sister, her approach was, you're going to get in the business because I told you you're going to get in the business. Right. So I'm going to be approaching it entirely different. So is there a chance he could bring it up? Yes. And I'll deal with it when he brings it up. I'll just say, well, perhaps, I would like you to look at it from my perspective on how I'm doing the business. Again, and move back to we have mutual respect for each other. You're an ethical person. You have integrity, and I'm looking for business partners. I'm looking for a business partner, and that's you. And it may or may not be for you.
And that's fine.
And that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I do think it does change things a little bit. So you just need to be ready. You need to be ready when he says, "Is this that Ambit business?" And then, I would say, yes, absolutely it is. But the reason why I'm reaching out, and I know you've been asked to look before, but the reason why I'm reaching out is Lynn and I are having so much success with this that I feel we would be doing you a disservice if we didn't show you how and why we're being successful with it. Again, it still may not be your cup of tea, but I'd love to show you how we are doing the business and having our success.
Okay, I like that.
So that would be my follow-up if he does bring it up. But good point, Lynn. I think you're absolutely right that could change the nuance of the call of the invite. But I would go in as you were, but be ready with that response if he says, "Is this the Ambit thing?" Either at the invite or at the presentation. At the presentation, he's going to find out that it's Ambit and go, "Oh, hold on a second. This is what you showed, my sister or whatever the relationship was." And then you need to be ready with that phrase, Dave, because she wasn't successful because she didn't stick with it. He needs to see why you're successful, because we just heard from our number one income earner why this business is so freaking awesome. It is a fantastic business that can give anyone the ability to be making, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a cost of $75 and some time commitment. Total financial freedom. Who wouldn't want that? And if he judges the business because of his sister's behavior, that would be a shame. He needs to judge the business based on your behavior and your success.
Agree. Good point. Good point.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Richard, you are so good. You are so good. Not to blow up your head or anything. But...
You're making me blush. Oh, dear. Well, that's very kind of you to say so. Thank you.
Are you ready for me?
I'm ready for you. Bring it on, girlie.
Well, we have already talked about Brannigan and Kelly. I have not reached out to them yet, so I will be doing that tomorrow. I can throw another name in if you'd like.
Sure.
Alex. It's Aleix, and it is a Mr. I met with him, it's probably been a couple years. I have not shared the business with him. I do know that he is an Ambit customer, however. He is in administration with the Dallas Independent School District. He is, I believe, an assistant principal. He stepped away from that for a while, and he was a DJ and very well known in the Hispanic community and knows a lot of people and did very, very well. But he wanted to get back and make a difference in kids' lives. and I would like to reconnect.
How old is he?
I would say late 30s. He's single. No, he has children, grown or just out of high school, but actually one child. But he is not married.
Do you know what he's doing now?
Yes, he's an assistant principal.
Yes. Okay. Interesting one. What? Any thoughts?
I think I need to be direct with him. I mean, he knows me well enough. If I call him, he knows exactly who I am. It's not like I need to remind him of who I am.
Okay. Dave, do you have any thoughts on it?
I would go that direction. I would go the direction with direct.
Yeah, interesting. I'm kind of teeter-tottering between direct and a get-together first.
Yes, I see.
Okay, here's the reason why I might get together first is because if it's been 2 years, you've got an excuse to get together first, and I think if he knows you well enough, it wouldn't be weird. But I think you're going to, in that conversation, you're going to get a lot more information on what he's doing, if there's any pain, what's going on, what he wants to do, if he's happy, if he's not happy, if he's like I had a one-on-one today, which was a kind of a similar thing, although it was the first time I was meeting. It wasn't from a while ago, but there was an opportunity where I could have it could have been a direct invite, but it felt right because it was a female, younger than me, like in her 30s, and I wanted to get together first. And oh my God, was that valuable! We spoke. We had a great lunch, and we just talked. And this girl, I wouldn't have known. And there were just so many reasons why she so desperately needed something else. She has a son who's autistic. She told me about all these different businesses and things she's tried. She's entrepreneurial. She really needs to find something. And it was just I was just sitting there just basically being quiet, having her tell me all the reasons why I should suggest she should take a look at something I'm doing. It may be able to help her out. So I just find those initial meetings very powerful sometimes.
That makes sense.
So that's an option. That is very much an option, and I'll leave that to you. But the other one, a direct, I think could be, he knows who you are. He, as you say, he's a little bit of a go-getter. If I'm erring on an initial meeting first, though. If I'm going with a visceral response, I don't know why, but it feels like I want to get together with him for a cup of coffee first, just to catch up and see what's going on. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that. But if not, if you want to just go for the direct approach, by all means do. I would completely understand that.
You certainly can't go wrong with a meeting. I mean, you're building the relationship, if anything else.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, look, Dave and I, we're building our businesses together. We're doing great. We're really looking to expand our network. Alex, I think you say his name. Say Alex at the moment. We've known each other for a while, but I want to I'd love to get together, catch up, see what you're doing. Let's go grab a coffee or let's go grab some lunch or whatever. It'd be great to catch up.
Okay.
It feels like that, but it's a weird one. It's just a weird one because I'm hearing that even though it's been 2 years, you kind of know him, he knows you, and a direct would be appropriate too. And my direct invite would be, hey, I'm going to say Alex because I can't pronounce his name properly. I'd say, hey, Alex, it's LYNN NUTT here. Been 2 years. How are you, my friend? It's great to hear you again. I'm in a little bit of a hurry. In fact, I might say that first. Say, hey, Alex, it's LYNN NUTT here. I'm in a little bit of a hurry. I hope everything's going well for you. But I've been meaning, you've been on my mind It's been a while since I saw you, but you've been on my mind this week. I've been meaning to give you a call this week. Do you have a couple of minutes?
Okay.
And then I would go into the, as you may or may not know, Dave and I obviously are approaching retirement, and we're working very hard. Been working very hard, and the business has been working really, really well for us. And then I would say I know it's been 2 years, but I'd love to get together because I want you to see what I'm doing. We're really looking to build our network. We're really looking to promote our business and really grow the business in the DFW area, and we're networking pretty extensively right now, and I want to reach out to you so you can see what we're doing. You can see if we can, help us with referrals or whatever, but my memory serves me really well with you, Alex. It's been 2 years, but I've known you to always been very dynamic, and I would really like you to take a look at what I'm doing. Forgive me for being direct, but look at it to see if you consider being my business partner.
Okay. What's hard for me is I have a lot of people I've known for a very long time, and a lot of them are Facebook friends. So I see what they're doing, and I feel like we still have that relationship even when we don't see each other. So Alex and
I get it.
It makes it harder in a way. And sometimes I think, too, though, that people show their best face on Facebook, and it's not necessarily what's really they don't show everything that's going on in their life.
Of course not.
It makes it hard sometimes.
Well, you've got a choice. At the end of the day, the purpose of what we're trying to do here is that he takes a look at the business. If we do it in 2 stages, it just took a little bit longer. If we do it in 1 stage, then it goes in 1 stage. It's just go with a gut feel on that. But again, the relationship in Facebook. You may say, well, you know what? No, we have been connected. Even though I haven't seen him for 2 years, we have been pretty well connected. I have been seeing I have been commenting on his news feed. He has been commenting on my news feed.
Okay.
It may be relevant for a direct invite, and you may even want to do it. In some cases, I even will do invites sometimes through my Facebook private messaging. If there's been some comments where we've both been commenting on the same thing, I have no problem with a good invite going through the Facebook messaging or even texting.
Okay.
So I've kind of left it all open there because you know the nuance of the relationship better than I do, but either is good.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay, is that all we got?
Well, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Do you ever take when people drop cards off at your front door? Do you ever call them?
Okay, give me an example.
Jose's Lawn Service.
Okay.
They drop a card, on your front door, or somebody's tree trimming business, somebody that's trying to drum up business. They're entrepreneurials because they're out there trying to drum up business.
Okay, this is pretty easy. You got nothing to lose.
Right. Absolutely.
What's the worst that can happen? You can say no.
Right.
I think, is it an Hispanic lawn service?
Right. Or, most of them are Hispanic.
Okay. So here's something. This is not a racist comment. It just is what it is. Very often, I've had people, if they're Hispanic, if a white man is approaching him with business, I'm treading on thin ice here because this country is super sensitive to a race thing, but this is a cultural thing, and it's very interesting that if a white man shows interest in him as a businessman, they're very, very flattered, and you might find that he responds pretty well. But it's a pretty much a cold invite. Obviously, things like your why. He doesn't give a crap about your why, because he doesn't know who you are. So here's what I would do: is I would make it business to business. you're a businessman, he's a businessman, and there's potential synergy in the business. So I would be like, it's a little weird because he wants to mow your lawn, and he, it's a different one. It's basically just a cold call. And
right.
I would say, hey Juan, is his name Juan?
I have a stack of them that I call.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's say Carlos.
Okay.
Hey Carlos, this is Dave Nutt here. I live at number blah 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 of such and such street. I got your card on my door. Thank you very much for making me aware of the service that you're prepared to offer. I really appreciate that. But I was curious. I'm making this up as I go along, by the way, Dave, because I'm
Sure.
kind of winging it here. I was curious, do you find that your business tends to be a little bit seasonal? Because obviously in the summer, obviously there's a lot more work to do than maybe sometimes in the winter. And he'll say yes, because all landscapers do. And say, well, look, this may seem a little, what would be the word? This may seem a little unusual. But my wife and I have a business that has a lot of synergy with your business, and it may be something that will help you in the down times of your business to be continuing your business cash flow. And forgive me, I was giving you a call to see if we can get together for a coffee. I can show you what I'm doing and see if it makes sense to work alongside what you're currently doing for the times when the weather isn't suitable for you to be able to go out and work on people's gardens. And then I would go for a very intentional close. You've got nothing to lose. There may be a better way to do that invite. There may be. I know Adam and Michelle had some wonderful cold calling invites, which they may be able to help you with. But that's kind of how I would do it. But my answer to your question is, hell yeah, why not? You got nothing to lose.
Right. But typically,
he's entrepreneurial, hardworking. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, if I greet them or when I call them, I basically go through what you just said about thanks for I got your card on my door. Appreciate you sharing, making me aware. Do you keep your options open for other sources, other areas of income?
Yeah, you could be. I like that. That could be nice and short and sharp. Or you could precast. Yes, first of all, yes, that's very good. Start with that intro and then straight into you keep our options open. That's how I'll do cold when I meet a waitress or whatever face to face. But you might want to preempt it very slightly with, I know in the landscaping business sometimes you have a lot of downtime, and then go into, are you open to options for other means of income that could maybe help keep your cash flow up whilst your landscaping business isn't able to make you money. Something along those lines. Whatever feels best for you. But either direct without that preempting, or with the preempting. I think either way works. But bottom line, yes. The purge call is not really about cold calling like that. So I'm not pretending to be any kind of expert, and there's lots of really good cold calling invites and techniques out there by other ambit leaders. But I like the way you did it. I think that was, do you keep your options open for extra money, for extra income? Or keep it business like extra revenue. Sometimes a different word makes it, more powerful. But, yeah.
Well, I appreciate it.
Anything else? No problem.
I'm good.
No, we
Lynn?
get to go to Powder Trip tomorrow, and we get to make our phone calls, and we get to talk again.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Well, super. Thank you very much. 10:56. Wow, it's nearly past my bedtime. We're going to turn into a party anytime soon. But thank you very much, guys. Have a super evening. Really appreciate your time. And I'll speak to you guys tomorrow.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Good night.
Hey, no problem. Good night.